Florida's beaches are shutting down, and not because of hurricanes or shark sightings. Something far stranger has been discovered beneath the waves. For several days now, the typically sunlit coasts of Florida have fallen into an eerie silence. Law enforcement has closed off major access routes. The National Guard has erected barricades, and locals watch from afar. Baffled about what could lie beneath the sea, the reason for this sudden and expansive closure of numerous beaches isn't a weather alert or a marine predator. It's something far more enigmatic, something that has sent authorities scrambling and drawn in experts from all corners of the nation. A mysterious find beneath the ocean floor, hidden under coral and layers of sediment, has effectively brought one of the country's most visited coastlines to a grinding halt. But before we dive deeper, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. For more updates, it began quiet. Signs of trouble started subtly. Fishermen along the Gulf Coast reported bizarre sonar readings, tall vertical anomalies, unusually symmetrical for any natural formation. Initial theories suggested remnants of a sunken ship. Florida's waters are full of maritime history. But this wasn't a lost schooner or overturned freighter. When divers were dispatched, they uncovered something much more baffling. Submerged under 30 feet of water and buried in thick silt was a massive geometric structure, metallic in nature and oddly warm to the touch. It was clearly engineered, though not by any known human means. Early reports described a monolithic shape, taller than a two-story building, partially embedded in the seafloor. Its surface was smooth and mirror-like, covered in intricate engravings that didn't resemble any known script or symbols. It emitted a faint, rhythmic pulse of vibration felt through the water, disorienting divers who came too close. Scientific instruments aboard nearby vessels began to fail when brought near the object. Compasses spun aimlessly, depth sensors reset, encrypted communication systems glitched. This wasn't just odd. It was unprecedented. A rapid response within 48 hours. Federal agencies descended on the area. The Department of Homeland Security locked down the region, while the Navy established a perimeter with several vessels. Black helicopters hovered by day, floodlights swept the ocean by night. Civilian drones were jammed, tourists were evacuated, residents were ordered indoors. A 50-mile beach exclusion zone was enforced, with no explanation beyond the vague phrase, "national security risk." Speculation exploded online. Conspiracy forums lit up with wild theories, from crashed UFOs to rediscovered ruins of ancient civilizations. Some were convinced this was Atlantis uncovered by shifting tectonics. The scale and secrecy of the federal response only fueled belief that something extraordinary had been found. Satellite imagery of the region was wiped. Marine tracking apps stopped showing vessels near the site. Independent researchers were turned away or threatened with arrest. A digital and literal silence enveloped the Florida coastline. The first eyewitness still, some details leaked out. A diver from a private exploratory team sent in before the lockdown described the structure as flawless, with sharp, pristine edges unblunted by years underwater. Fish wouldn't go near it. Within 5 meters, the water temperature changed. Noticeably, no algae, no barnacles, no marine life of any kind. It was as if nature itself refused to touch it. Geologists, brought in under the pretense of environmental analysis, found the material unfamiliar, not any known alloy or compound. Electron microscopes revealed nanoscopic structures too precise to be naturally formed, yet showing no manufacturing marks. This object was not built using traditional tools. And it wasn't recent. Its location just offshore from one of the most developed coastlines in America made its sudden appearance even more surreal. Some speculated it had been buried, cloaked, or camouflaged. Others wondered if it had just arrived. Activity beneath the surface. Military tightened its grip. Submarines were spotted offshore. Research subs operated under blackout protocols. Sources with access to deep-sea surveillance suggested that the visible monolith might be only a fraction of a much larger entity stretching over a mile beneath the seabed. Ground-penetrating sonar revealed layers extending downward and outward, suggesting a vast subterranean complex. Theories emerged. Had something triggered its partial surfacing like a landslide? Or was it surfacing on purpose? Authorities stayed silent. Official statements reference marine hazards and environmental review processes, but intelligence insiders recognized the signs: complete containment, public reaction, and growing tensions. Tourism collapsed. Local businesses shuttered. Strange phenomena were reported across coastal towns: electromagnetic interference, power surges, dropped cell signals. Orison heard of this far south flickered in the night skies. Some heard a low, droning hum reverberating through the ground. As military presence expanded, civilian anxiety grew. And then came whispers of motion. Sources hinted the object had begun to shift, rotating, burrowing, or reconfiguring itself beneath the seafloor. It wasn't inert, it was active. High-resolution imaging revealed a series of inner chambers. Aligned with eerie precision, one deep-sea probe lost contact after entering a particular corridor. Its electronics fried, as if exposed to a powerful EMP. No further dives occurred without Pentagon oversight. All future data was routed through military encryption channels, signals, and language. Experts debated if the monolith was transmitting or listening. The pulsing vibrations changed frequency over time, almost like signals. Linguists, mathematicians, and pattern analysts were recruited under strict NDAs. What they found wasn't human. It wasn't even ancient. The evolving symbols etched into the structure's surface correlated with tides and solar activity. The object was interacting not only with Earth, but with cosmic events. Atomic-level scans revealed subtle pattern shifts, as if the structure were writing a kind of code that might represent a non-human language. Planetary implications sensed. Top-secret facilities, theoretical physicists began to panic. The object emitted energy that broke known laws: non-ionizing, stable, and increasing in intensity. Conservation of energy didn't seem to apply. Even entropy was in question. The object didn't just defy understanding. It rewrote it. When stimulated by sonar or light, it emitted responses, not reflections. Mimicry. One analyst described it not as a machine, but a living sensor capable of observation and memory. Intelligence officials concluded this was not merely a national threat, but a planetary one. Global fallout and hidden agendas. Foreign governments noticed the anomaly through seismic data and satellite leaks. Russia, China, and EU nations approached the US quietly but were shut out. Tensions escalated. The object had triggered a new Cold War, with espionage operations buzzing around the lockdown zone. Meanwhile, the natural world around the site transformed. Migratory birds changed course, dolphins issued distress calls. Coral reefs began to regrow in strange patterns. Biologists whispered about biological resonance, that the object might be influencing DNA. Some feared it could alter life, others dreamed it might heal it. The idea was staggering. This wasn't just a relic. It might be a catalyst. What comes next? Inside underground labs, classified teams debated whether to isolate the object or to interact with it. One proposal, called Project Echo Core, aims to develop a new form of AI not based on human logic, but patterned after the structure's own cognition. The implications? Catastrophic or evolutionary. Meanwhile, spiritual leaders quietly weighed in. Jewish mystics noted patterns matching Kabbalistic numerology. Sufi scholars compared its hums to ancient chants. Hindu philosophers linked its resonance to the Om, the universal sound of creation. Some believe it's not alien but divine. The silence deepens still. The government remains silent. Foreign agencies circle. Seismic pulses continue beneath the structure, timed with unsettling regularity. They're not natural. They're designed. Some scientists believe the monolith is just the tip of a planet-spanning system, buried deep below. Florida's beaches may be the first contact point, but not the last. No one can say if this discovery will elevate us or destroy us. For now, the object remains unmoved, yet active. A silent sentinel beneath the ocean's surface. The beaches remain closed, but what lies beneath? It isn't done, not even close.